Hey, folks, welcome to another advisory. It is Friday. Very exciting. I hope you guys all had a good week. Before we get started with our subject for today, I had 4 announcements for you, and they are as follows. Hey, listen up. Here's some announcements. First of all, the first few days next week, we will have EOC retesting. And you may not be testing, but you may have a room that is displaced and meeting somewhere else because of testing. So on Monday morning, make sure you go to Longhorn Country, go to the testing tab, and look at the Longhorn lookup to see if you are testing or if you need to meet your class somewhere else. Next Tuesday, December 5th, we are going to have our WT White tree lighting, and it's pretty much going to look something like this. It's almost going to be exactly like this. There's all sorts of community partners coming together. I've heard rumors that Chick-fil-A will be there for our community tree lighting. That's Tuesday after school, I think around 5 p.m. So make plans to stay for that. Bring your family. It'll be a good time. Next Thursday, December 7th, at 7 p.m., we have the WT White Dance and Spirit Night of Dance. It's the night of dance. And it's going to be all sorts of dance, ballet, modern and contemporary. Might be some of this. Might be some of that. Who knows? Okay, it's a night of dance. Anything can happen. So it'll be $10 cash at the door, and make sure to come support your WT White Dance and Spirit teams. And then finally, right after this video is over, you all will have an opportunity to fill out the library book request form. Miss Allen in the library has the opportunity to get some new books very soon, and she would like some input from you on what kind of authors or subjects or actual books you would like to see in our library. I'll have this reprinted on the next slide, but it'll be at bit.ly/WTWBookRequest. Okay, the other day we started the conversation on bullying. I sent out a form that asked a few questions that I want to go over your answers for now. Basically, we asked what bullying is and what it looks like in the modern day. What do you think causes people to bully? And what do you wish adults would know about bullying? And here are some of your answers. To the question, what is bullying? You got being mean, constant teasing, excluding people from belonging, mental manipulation, and insults. Physical or psychological aggression. Yeah, aggression can be physical, like fighting, but it can also be mental. It can be psychological. El bullying es la intimidación y el acoso en una persona, burlándose de él y de su forma de vivir o ser. Harassment, humiliation, picking on someone else to the point that they feel overpowered and controlled. That's a good point. A lot of times people feel overpowered or overwhelmed or controlled, like they can't do anything without whoever is teasing them or bullying them, making them feel bad. Discrimination. Es un acto de burlarse de personas que tal vez no tengan los mismos privilegios. Aprendiendo español. Sorry for the butchering. But I think that's a very good point, is that sometimes it is based off of privilege. A lot of people kind of see themselves as above others and treat them as such. All right, I also asked what causes someone to bully others. You guys said they are trying to be cool. Maybe they bully others because they feel like they have more power. When someone feels bad about themselves, they try to make others feel bad also. Yeah, that's true. I've never met anybody who bullies someone or who constantly teases others or puts others down that feels very good about themselves. If they felt better about themselves and they focused more on themselves, then they wouldn't feel the need to make themselves feel better by putting others down. They don't got nothing to do. Very possible. They might just be bored. Insecurities, peer pressure, sentir solo y es una forma de escapar de su frustración. Very true. People could just be frustrated about other things in their lives and they're trying to escape it by, again, putting others down. They think it's just jokes. Sometimes they're going through something that could cause them to act that way. Most times you just don't know unless you ask them. You know, I got a lot of answers just like this one, and I really love that our Longhorns out there are very empathetic even to people that are being mean to others. You guys understand not only the perspective of the victims, but also the people that are doing some of these mean things, because you know that they are human too, and that they have probably been through some rough experiences themselves. Maybe they were a victim of bullying before themselves. Maybe they don't have ways to deal with or express their feelings. Maybe kids are copying and doing what their parents or other adults do. Yeah, we only know what we're taught. And so if all the adults or all of our examples around us are being mean and constantly putting down others because of their own insecurities, we're going to learn that behavior. And until we correct it, that's how we're going to behave. Hurt people hurt people. This is an old saying that pretty well sums up kind of what we've been talking about. And believe it or not, it's a complete sentence, all right? Hurt people, the people who are hurt in their lives, tend to hurt people. They tend to do the hurting to others. And that's your English lesson of the day as well. I also asked, what do you wish adults would understand about bullying? It can be hard to speak up even if they do have trusted adults to speak to. It's not just simple banter between kids or teens. It could be more serious and lead to more problems. Very true. We need to be cognizant of the fact that it's not always just kids being kids. It's hard for the victim to stand up for themselves or ask for help. A person doesn't stop bullying just by telling them that it's not okay. Sometimes confronting a bully can make it worse. Absolutely. This is true and has been true forever. If there's somebody being mean to you and an adult is trying to solve that problem and make peace, sometimes we go about it in a completely wrong way that makes it worse behind the scenes in ways that we don't have to deal with. So it's very important for adults to be tactful in the way that we handle these situations. I wish adults paid closer attention to the root problem and not be too quick to judge. I wish adults knew that the haters are hard to ignore. They are hard to ignore, all right? Especially in a school setting where you have to see them every day. It's very difficult to get away from some negativity. You're just going to have to deal with some. And while ignoring it, I would say, is the best way to go about it, it is very difficult to do that. This person said going up to the kid personally is embarrassing. It goes back to how tactful adults can be, right? Maybe saying, hey, now, Johnny, you
quit that out. You cut that out. I've seen you teasing little Susie all year, and I just can't.
Yeah, that's not going to work, right? It's just going to make the bullying problem worse. And so being tactful is very important. Putting up signs that says this is a no bullying zone doesn't really do much. Yeah. Hey, this is a no bully zone. Hey, bullies, get out of here. Hey,
bullies, get out of here. This is a no bully zone.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much. It is kind of silly sometimes when we see the awareness things about being bullied, or if you see something, say something kind of stuff. But it is important to spread awareness that this kind of behavior is not cool. So it may be corny sometimes the way that adults go about it, but we mean well. ¿Qué es incómodo lidiar con una persona con la que no quieres tener ningún tipo de relación? Yeah, we don't have to be friends with everybody, right? Sometimes it's hard to try to reconcile with somebody that we don't really want anything to do with in the first place. And so that can be tricky in a school setting. Age doesn't justify abusing power. Bullying masked under authority is harmful. Very important thing for the adults in every school to remember is that bullying can happen in a bunch of different ways. And that's what I think that a lot of these things are trying to say, is that it doesn't look typical. Sometimes it can come from kids. Sometimes it can come from authority figures, adults. And that just because there is authority doesn't mean that someone gets to push that authority around at will. We have to be kind to each other no matter what position of authority or under what position of authority we are. And so what is the solution, right? If the posters don't work, if the sometimes the mediation works, but sometimes it makes it worse, right? What is the ultimate solution to bullying? You may say that this is something that's happened forever. People have been singled out and teased and bullied since the beginning of time and will until the end of time, some would say. And while that might be true, that doesn't mean that we have an excuse to not deal with it. And I think the best way to deal with it is empathy. Yesterday, you should have watched a couple of videos about the bystander effect. That is the effect that a bunch of people in a group not helping someone causes others to also not help. You saw it over here in public where there was a poor woman laying on the floor forever in a very crowded space and no one stopped to check on her. You saw it in kind of a sillier way with the tent construction here, whenever the person finally helped out after, I think, 8 minutes. And both of these concluded that what finally made people help is that they felt bad for the other person. She felt bad that the researcher had to set up the tent by themselves, and someone finally came to check on this woman because she was laying in the middle of the ground. And someone finally thought, I wonder if I was in that position, if I would want someone to check up on me. And that is exactly what empathy is. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. You guys had empathy in your responses about why someone might bully. You guys said that, oh, maybe they're going through something, right? Maybe they are experiencing some sort of pain. That's empathy, right? And it's difficult to have empathy for anyone. It's hard for us to get out of our mind, but it's especially hard for us to sometimes to have empathy for strangers or people that are actively mean to us. But I would say that empathy is kind of the only thing that will solve a bullying problem. I have a few discussion questions on the next slide about empathy and some of the things that we've discussed this week. So I want you to have those discussions with your advisors. Don't forget to fill out the library book request form on the next slide before you have that discussion or while you have that discussion. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Be good to yourself and others, and I'll see you next week.